forward. Okay, awesome. PowerPoint. Amazing. Okay, we might get started. Okay, thank you so much to everyone who is here in person and online. It's great to be able to actually run an event that's like, you know, in person, and we'll have the Zoom component as well. We are recording this just for future reference so we can pop it out on YouTube and stuff. So just let everyone know about that. If you have any issues with that, just let me know. And for people in person, just make sure you scan the QR code on the door for COVID safety. So we've got our PowerPoint here. I'll pass over to Carlos in a second. But yeah, I really wanted to do this seminar and get Carlos in to talk about all the cool energy and transport initiatives we've got happening at in sustainability. And it'll be really cool, hopefully, to get some Green Labs, Green Office and Green Ambassador people all together and communicating, because it's really hard to get students and staff together sometimes because it's so different, such different parts of the university. But yeah, during COVID, I'm sure a lot of people have heard that like we've dropped our emissions a bit, but in the long term, Nancy, yeah, in the long term, we jump straight back up again, really. So it's really important for us to look into our transport options that we have. And I've got Carlos here to talk a bit about what we've got here at UQ, if you want to pop up, Carlos.
Yes, good morning, guys. Thanks for coming to this meeting. I know some of you, right? Yeah. And some of you have also been pretty helpful in launching some of these initiatives. My name is Carlos Fujita-Dimas, and I work as a program officer within the energy management team within the infrastructure and sustainability team of property and facilities. So, and today I'm here because I'd like to share with you details regarding the multiple sustainable transport initiatives that we are implementing at UQ. Specifically, I will be talking about our end of trip facilities infrastructure, the UQ e-mobility plan, UQ's air travel emissions offset program, and also the mobility as a service trial. So UQ has strongly supported and is encouraging active travel to commute to and from campus. So apart from having an extensive network of bike racks in most of campuses and made available bike repair stations, we also have dedicated end of trip facilities called bike boxes. These are facilities that have showers, secure parking spaces, and also lockers that students and staff can access for free by applying through PF Assist. So I just thought it was important to let you know about this, and then you can go to the UQ website for more information about the specific locations of these bike boxes. Obviously, because this is the biggest campus, that's where most of these facilities are located. But I know that there's facilities at Lompoc, the Gatlin campus, at the Oral Health Center too. Also, we have been putting a lot of effort in implementing the UQ e-mobility plan. This is an effort to coordinate actions, set targets, and also measure progress in the mobility in the e-mobility space. The plan has a mission to remove existing barriers for the adoption of low emission transport choices. And it focuses on three areas. One is replacing the UQ passenger fleet with low and zero emissions technology. The other one is expansion of campus EV charging opportunities. And the third one is embracing e-micromobility, which is mainly e-bikes and also e-scooters, but you know, there's so many other devices too. UQ has also been a pioneer in the provision of EV charging opportunities to support the transition to electric vehicles in Queensland. We are deploying charging stations for the exclusive use of the UQ passenger electric fleet. We have also implemented the first workplace EV charging program of the group of 8 universities at the St. Lucia campus. And we have also rolled out EV charging stations for the public at the St. Lucia and Gatlin campuses, and also within the Warwick Township. And we have a mix of slow and fast chargers for the use of the public. So on May this year, we also launched the UQ Recharge program. This is a workplace EV charging program for the exclusive use of UQ staff. The program allows staff to park and charge for a daily flat fee. So you can come and to work to UQ and leave your electric vehicle the whole day if you want. And obviously you just have to pay a small premium, you know, above parking, you know, normal parking fees. We have, the program currently has 4 charging stations, and they are located at the Courtney Fernald car park in the multi-level car park 2, the 4th level. And also we have 2 additional charging stations below the synthetic field, the synthetic fields. So, and we're expecting to expand this initiative to other UQ campuses like Gatlin, Hairston, and Lompoc. And we believe by maybe 2025, we will have at least 25 charging stations that could be used for staff. Now, there's also a lot is happening related to micromobility and active travel. And we're not only welcoming new transport modes, but we're also trying to create a safe ride environment for everybody, including pedestrians. So among these actions, we have created new UQ riding guidelines. We have also launched a new rideable network map that clearly indicates parking zones for shared devices, rideable paths, but also dismount zones. And along with that, we have been deploying new traffic signage too that incorporates e-micromobility devices. We are hosting also Neuron and Beam. For those who are not familiar with these services, they provide e-scooters and also e-bikes. And with the support of the UQ Sustainability Office, we have also established a periodical safety campaign that is delivered to everybody through social media, and where we are seeking to provide tips and information that will help you know, riders to take care of themselves and also of pedestrians. And also, all these actions that I just mentioned before have enabled the first mobility as a service trial in UQ. The MAS is a initiative that has been launched by the Faculty of Engineering in July this year. And the trial is only open to UQ staff and the students. and allow them to travel using different transport modes, TransLink buses, trains, ferries, neuron devices, and also taxi services for a flat monthly fee. So it works through a mobile app that is called the odinpass, where you can plan your travel, but also purchase a monthly pass that bundles different transport modes. So there's a bundle, for example, that allow you to travel, as many rides as you want for a month, and during the months, and that combines also neuron devices. So you can go to that website, the odinpass.com.au, and find more details about how you can join. But basically, the prices are quite good, and what the mass trial is trying to do is to make a case for flat fee transport or subscription transport, as opposed to pay as you go. So UQ is also making progress towards the establishment of an air travel emission offset program. This program has now been made part of the UQ sustainability strategy that is currently for approval for the Senate. And basically, what the strategy is trying to do is to set, direct funding to finance the purchase of carbon offsets to, offset, air miles. As part of these efforts too, the university has centralized air travel booking, so that they can account for all the corporate travel that is happening at UQ. And also, our sustainability office is working with a group of 8 universities on the standards to report Scope 3 emissions that include air travel. And one last thing that I would like to mention is that we can all contribute to become more sustainable in the way we move around. We could ride, walk, or use the public transport to get to campus. We could carpool when driving long distances, and if that is an option. And also try to, if you are able to work from home and commute less, that's also a good idea. Also, if you need to travel for work, consider alternatives like, sorry, Zoom or Teams. And if you can, also consider purchasing an electric vehicle, and take advantage of all the immobility and active transport initiatives and infrastructure that the university is putting in place. So that be pretty much my my intervention. But if you have any questions, I'll be open to it. Yep.
I can also talk about charging stations for bikes in your bike shop.
Pardon me, can you repeat that?
Like similarly to the charging station that they have for the electric vehicles. And we ever thought about to have those charging stations for e-bikes and scooters in your bike shop?
Yes, actually, this is an initiative that is part of the UQ e-mobility plan. And we are working at the moment on scoping the potential sites where we can deploy, bike racks with charging capabilities. One roadblock that we're finding is that there's still not many suppliers of this type of bike racks in Australia, and obviously they are quite expensive. But we need to scope the sites, because also we need access to power, right, and to enough power to supply to the chargers. But that's on the agenda. So hopefully by the end of this year, of next year, we should have our first charging stations for e-bikes and e-scooters. And I imagine they will be, used for free. Yeah, they will be made accessible at no cost. Oh. Okay, works now. No, that's just okay. Yes. And the other thing is that, traditionally the bike boxes were not built to accommodate electric bikes, and electric bikes are heavier too, and the current infrastructure is not suitable for them. So we're also working towards changing those bike racks inside the bike box so that they can accommodate e-bikes, e-scooters too, but also to provide charging within the bike boxes.
So I'm sitting a wall.
Hi there, sorry, can I ask a question? Can you hear me?
Yeah, and the other thing, if you ever decide to buy an electric vehicle, as I mentioned before, we have these 4 charging stations at UQ, but we expect to grow that infrastructure next year, because the response that we have gotten from the public has been for the UQ community has been quite good, and they are pretty much already oversubscribed, and we are hearing that that more people are buying, UQ staff are buying cars too. So we definitely, we're working on expanding that network, and pretty much at the Conifer node, but also at the multi-level car park too. So.
This was the power that the energy is coming from them. So can you guarantee that you charge those vehicles will keep on?
I mean, you're talking about cost recovery?
No, when you offer that charging for vehicles, you should also consider that the electricity that you use for that is coming from renewable energy.
Oh, renewable energy. Yes. Well, at the moment, if the amount of energy that we produce inside the campus from renewable energy sources is around 5% of the total load of UQ, because this campus consumes 130 million kilowatt hours a year, so it's quite a lot, and we don't have enough roof to supply all. But also the grid is greening. And at least 20% of the Queensland grid electricity already comes from energy sources. So that's one thing. But also you require less energy to power miles, the same miles or kilometers, if you use electricity rather than an IC vehicle, because combustion is less efficient too. You can travel further. But yeah, and the university has built a solar farm at work, and that right now it's in the commissioning stage. But when it's operating at 100%, and that will most likely happen the next year, then it will provide, it will supply more green energy than the one we need, in the entire UQ. So basically that renewable energy that we're pumping into the grid from Warwick, we pretty much offset our needs on the other sites.
Entirely of UQ?
Yes, entirely, in all sites included. Yes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So yes, so progress is being made, but also apart from that, apart from the type of energy that we're consuming, part of the reason of deploying this infrastructure is to help Queensland to manage their grid, because as solar farms are growing and producing energy during the day, the Queensland grid and energy market is finding itself, being drawn with the solar PV energy to the point that prices are becoming negative. So you have all this energy coming during daytime, and it has to be sucked in by any means you can. And part of that that strategy is to use electric vehicle charging during the day, because if we all charge at night when we come back from work, then we're going to have troubles, because at night we don't have energy, solar PV operating. So, and obviously during the daytime, also the grid, the infrastructure that moves electricity from one point to the other is also not coping, very well. So, so that's another reason for doing this. Yeah. To what extent does UQ collaborate with Brisbane Council in development of cycle paths connecting Brisbane to UQ? Right. Yes, we work closely with the Brisbane City Council, but also with the TMR, the Transport Ministry for Queensland, and we are coordinating some of the actions that we are taking related to e-micromobility. The mass trial that I mentioned before, and the welcoming of shared devices from Neuro and Beam is part of the collaboration that we are having with the Brisbane City Council, so that more people can actually access, UQ through more sustainable means. So, and also we are working together to establish, signage standards, parking zone standards, and so on. And TMR is also, investing on the mass trial, because they want to find out better ways to use, the TransLink transport network. But on the other side, we're also, another corporate citizen in Queensland, right? I mean, we can use our leverage to get better infrastructure, but there's also limits to that, right? Because the BCC also has its own strategy, funding, separate funding. But yeah, there's a certain level of coordination. Okay, yeah. So I think Nancy has a concern about the availability of end-of-trip facilities and specifically showers within the science precinct. And yes, you're right. We have established an end-of-trip facilities at PNF that is looking towards finding solutions to this problem, because we know it is a problem, and the strategy is being put in place with the planning side of PNF to address these shortages. Also, we know that we also need more bike racks too. And we have just finished, a bike rack inventory and survey with a view to expand this type of infrastructure. But yes, I think in general we need to, as an institution, to pay more attention to, to gender-based needs, because obviously women might have different preferences and also needs than, males that commute to, using bikes or ride using bikes. Oh, so if the innovations are successful in St. Lucia, would there be an option to bring a bike shed to Gatlin? Yes, this is another issue that that we are trying to address within the end of trade facilities at UQ. Over the years, because St. Lucia is the biggest campus and where the biggest staff and student population is, then we have tended to be more St. Lucia centric, but we also paying attention to Gatlin too, because it's the second largest campus, and we know that there are needs there that need to be addressed in terms of micromobility, e-micromobility too. But in terms of electric vehicle charging, yeah, I mean, we have infrastructure there for the use of the public and also for the fleet. Yeah, so if you don't have any more questions, then we'll probably leave it there. Yeah, thanks for your time, guys. So you want to?
Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thanks everyone on Zoom for all the questions as well, and in person. It's like so great to see that people are interested in this stuff. Yeah, so if you have any further questions that you want to direct to Carlos, you can always, I think most of you should have my email address, so just shoot them to me and I can shoot them to Carlos and get an answer for you. But yeah, if there's no other questions on Zoom, I might end the Zoom here. But we do have this recorded, so we'll probably upload it. So it'll be online, so you can go back and look over it if there was anything you missed or wanted to look over a bit more. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.